That's right. Yeah. I mean, for me, you know, it's a little bit too plinky plonky. But oh, hi. Hey guys, welcome to Retro Recipes Live. Thank you so much for joining you. I've got a little preview here so I can see any of your chat messages and I can see who's talking to me. This is kind of a fun, momentous occasion. I've been running my channel for 2 months, something like that. I've already got a nice number of subscribers, but I've done a few live videos, but never anything actually repairing something. And today it's all about this. This is the Commodore 64 mainboard that's going to be going inside the CMM station. Now, if you followed some of my other videos, I've done 2 multi-part projects. One was building the Commodore Music Maker with the potentiometers on it and doing all that stuff. Hi guys, I'm seeing your chats coming. Hey up. The other project, after I built the Music Maker CMM2 Red, was building the CMM station. Now that's over there, I'll show you that in a second. Hi to Memphis, nice to see you, thanks for joining me. So the CMM station is the music workstation, kind of Fairlight inspired, that I'm going to be using to make future songs. And I know a few of you very kindly said that you like the synth song that I made on this. And there's a link below in the description of how you can get hold of that MP3. However, everything's great. I've built the CMM station, I've sprayed the TV, I've built a light box in the table, in the desk. Hi to the UK. I've sprayed the Commodore 64 casing, a sort of Darth Vader black. For any fellow Star Wars fans out there, cheers. It's not T, it's Powerade Zero. It's not antifreeze, I promise you. I'm glad you've been humming that tune anyway. So the only thing wrong with all of that is the PCB doesn't work. And that's kind of the whole point. Got a beautiful SID chip there, which we can't even get access to play music. So without further ado, I'm going to take you over to the workbench, not literally, just the camera, and we'll investigate a little further and get started on the first ever live refurbish this. Thanks Daniel, it is me, Mr. Cheesy Comment himself. Oh, it is antifreeze. All right. Bear with me 1 second. I'm about to give you a very moving experience. Oh, cheesy comment. Oh, that's fun. All right. Welcome to the workbench. Now, this is the PCB itself, but I think before we get started on all of this, we should probably do the intro sequence. Now, because this is a live video, I can't actually insert into the fancy music and everything, but don't worry, I've prepared things. I'm going to give you some music, give you a proper intro sequence. Retro recipes, that should be the one. This is my original Boots data cassette, which I actually think I used to use with my Commodore 64 because it was actually compatible with that. I don't know why I would have done that because I also had a Commodore data set, but it's been 20-30 years, who knows. Anyway, welcome everybody to Retro Recipes Live. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, awkward. Ah, okay. Yeah, so cool. Well, I think that was quite successful, don't you? I see your comments here. Is it live or is it Memorex? It's TDK. I hope that's okay. TDK, okay. All right, set the music to one side and let's get started. I do want to just welcome everyone who's joining me here. I've got 14 people so far. Really the thing that keeps me going making these videos is knowing that I'm going to get those cool comments. This is just such a positive community. Seeing those subscribes come in and all that kind of stuff really makes it worthwhile. And also a very special thank you to my Patreons who are joining me here. I see a couple of you already. Your support can in time help me buy the time to actually turn down other work in my regular day job and make more videos. Not like this, because this is going to be like a one-off we'll do now and then, but more retro videos with my Patreons on board. So thank you guys so much. All right, down to business, all right? Let's put our saucepans away. Retro recipes. Here's the PCB. Now, I bought this on eBay and it was advertised as being faulty. Now, you saw the condition that it came out of the broken, shattered casing. It wasn't looking too good. There was a kind of stain underneath and it doesn't work. Now, I don't know what's wrong with this. I'm going onto this adventure with you live, so to speak. So let's move this away from here and I'm going to show you how this looks on the TV itself. Okay, cool panning shot. So I'm going to turn on the faulty Commodore 64 in 3, 2, 1. Yeah. So this is what we've got. Now, I don't know how many of you are technically minded or want to chime in with any thoughts about what this could be. The only thing that I did before I even turned it on the first time was I changed the fuse, just a rookie thing to do. But here's our issue. Now, I'm wondering if it's something to do with a capacitor. It is a beautiful mess. I mean, it's a Commodore 64 trying its best to put out its colors and display a basic screen. Yeah, now it could be an oscillation issue. It could be one of the larger capacitors on the board. It could be the VIC chip itself. To answer your question, this is an NTSC Commodore 64. Thanks for the plug for my album as well, mate. I appreciate that. It is indeed on Spotify and iTunes and everything. It's only 42 tracks, so you know it doesn't entertain you for long. But yeah, check out the links below this video for how to get hold of my album. But back on topic, yeah, it looks like a cool demo, but I probably should turn it off because I don't want to blow something. All right, so back to the board itself. There we go. So one of the options, it could be some of these capacitors. Maybe this one is a likely culprit for an oscillation issue. Leo says that the VIC's probably okay as it's trying to put out a signal. So check the caps between it and the modulator first. That's a great idea, Leo. Now, I don't claim to be an expert. I'm not an electronics engineer. I know my way around a Commodore 64. You know, I know that's the SID chip. I know where the capacitors are. I know where the voltage regulators are. So for everyone that's not as technically minded as perhaps Leo, do us a favor. Tell us, you said check the capacitors between the VIC and the modulator. Which ones would those be? Are you referring maybe to these? So we'll wait for Leo to come back with information on that. While we wait for that, I'm going to give my soldering iron a nudge to wake it up. I'm going to be using the Xtronic 3020. This is my favorite soldering iron. There's a link below the description for that. But the nice thing about that is it heats up in seconds. Kind of amazing. Now, squeaky cable there. I have grounded myself I've done that simply by touching the ground shielding on the power cable. That will take all the static out of your body for the time being and send it to Earth. So I am grounded and ready to go. Leo says, recap the big caps as they help smooth the voltage for the entire board. Good advice. Let's get started. Now, the first thing we've got to do is remove this unnecessary oxidized, corroded shield here. Leo also said that's good for future-proofing, and I completely agree. Leo sounds like he knows what he's talking about. Good to have you here. So usually you can just desolder around these clips. I'm going to turn the fan on because I'm getting some lovely lead solder. Oh, goodness. And sometimes if you're lucky, you can just lever that out, or lever it out for our American friends, using the iron itself. In this case, I'm going to just use a watch screwdriver to get under there. So tune in next week when I've finished removing this clip here, and we'll continue this project. Alright. Now, I thought about doing all this ahead of time, just to kind of prep things. However, I really wanted to be spontaneous with this. I didn't even know that we would be recapping the board. Oh, there's that lead again. So I really wanted to take you on this journey with me from start to finish. It would feel a little bit like cheating if I prepped things and, like Gordon Ramsay, got all my ingredients ready. So this is how retro repairs often are. You just got to wing it. There we go. 3 down. Probably 3 or 4 to go. Not so bad. Kind of amazing how they make these things in the day, just huge blobs of solder and bend the clip over. Job done. Commodore factory for the win. Whoop whoop. My whole focus with these videos, it's things I was doing kind of on my own anyway, in my little workstation, my workbench. Not an Amiga workbench, but my whole focus is just saving as many of these machines. Now, probably largely unnecessary, because if there were 12 million, some people say 16 million, some even say 20 million of these machines out there. Probably enough to go around. But there's something to be said for just looking into the future, and there will be a day when the last working Commodore 64, actually I don't need to do that one, it's right there. When the last working Commodore 64 will stop working if we don't maintain these. And for any, computer historians or just people who want to show their grandchildren, great-great-grandchildren, how these first ever home computers were. When we have AI and computers taking over the world, I think it's important that we make sure there's enough of these around to show everybody. So, yeah, now Leo says you wouldn't get solder jobs like that in a modern electronics. Mainly, the tin is getting way too expensive. Is that right? Speaking of tin, I actually just need to re-solder this because I'm going to add some solder in order to remove the solder. That's just going to add some new flux into this joint, because all the solder is kind of under this one, and it's hard to heat up unless you have some new conductivity. There we go. Did you see that just popped off there? I don't know if that registered on this live video, but it gave a little click and just popped out of place. So I'll just try and get under there now. There it goes. So yeah, that's a good tip. If you're having trouble with desoldering something, add solder. It seems illogical, kind of go backwards. But that new flux in the solder will really help with the heat distribution and getting that thing off, as we did there. Ox did mention that it could be a cracked trace somewhere if it was dropped bad enough to crack the case. Hey guys, so we had a technical glitch, I think they'd call it. What I'm going to do is make a little adjustment here to my setup, just in case we're having some issues with power or some other thing. So I'm going to leave you with a little music for 2 seconds and some fun visuals. Alright, so what's happening is the YouTube Live app is crashing for some reason and dropping. Let me know if the stream goes again and we'll get that fixed. Yeah, so moving on, I was saying that it kind of annoys me when people put these eBay computers, the Commodore 64s, on there and they rip out all the chips. It makes me sad because it's like, I was saying, it's like having a beloved car, you know, your favorite Mustang or whatever, and then someone putting it on eBay and ripping off the bonnet and the boot and just selling it for spares when it was perfectly good. I don't know about you guys, but that kind of annoys me, and that's what I was saying. But I guess it keeps the interest alive in these machines, so it's not the end of the world. Anyway, speaking of the end of the world, it is the end of the world for this. You know, these shields were put in there to satisfy the, was it the FCC? But really, they're redundant. They don't really do much. There are some cool test videos on YouTube actually seeing what these do. So I'm going to set this to one side and we are not going to be using that anymore. Okay, now to look at the back of this. You know what? That's not actually looking too bad. I was worried that where that stain was, if you remember the stain on the case that I restored in the last 2 videos, it was this area here. But thankfully that hasn't actually made it through. So maybe these things did serve a purpose after all. Yes, we have the FCC to thank for the lack of coffee on this main board. Alright guys, so I think the next logical step is to replace these capacitors. Now a question for you guys, which one would you replace first? Because I'm going to test this with the power cable and the video cable between every capacitor to make sure we know which one, if any, fingers crossed, was the savior. Where would you start? I would probably start with this one, but let me know what you guys think. While you do that, I'm going to get my soldering iron prepped. Middle? Jim Devil, why do you say middle? And we also have eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Okay, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a capacitor by its leg. If it squeals, it probably works. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. It is middle. How did you know that? Jim Devil. Okay, let's go with middle, unless anyone has any strong objections. So that's going to be, this is always the fun bit, is working out which are the 2 points, so you don't get the wrong one. It's in between those 2 guys there, so it's got to be this one here, and this one here. So I'm going to use the good old technique of just holding the capacitor with my fingers. While Leo says tracer damage normally only occurs due to leaked caps or batteries. Large cap is the primary signal smoother. So now it's between these 2. I'm going to go with this. I have a hunch that if there's going to be any easy fix, it's probably going to be this. So yeah, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Alright, so that's this guy here. So I'm just pulling with this hand, hello, whilst heating the pin or the leg here. And I've already tinned the soldering iron, so it gets some good conductivity. And there it goes. Comes out, you see that? Nice and easy. And then the other leg, I'm again just going to apply very gentle pressure, and I want to make sure I get the right pin. Measure twice, cut once. So it is this inmost one. Right, right. Here we go. Just apply heat, just pulling ever so gently. Don't pull hard, because that way you could actually rip off the tracers. Fairlight is asking about the sewing pedal mod. I did think about that, so I need to just re-tin this soldering iron. Yeah, the idea there, I think, was to use a foot pedal, you know, for a synthesizer or a keyboard, to add some additional effects to the CMM2 Red, the Commodore Music Maker upgrade that I performed. So I have the 2 potentiometers on there, but also the idea was to add a third effect. There we go. Yeah, it's on the list, Fairlight. It is on the list. Problem is whether Messiah cart for the music or synth cart, again, supports more than 2 input devices. I know synth cart only supports 2, and I've already used the 2 potentiometers. Just to show you real quick, these 2 guys. So you can't input more. So a pedal would be an alternative, and I'm kind of happy with those for now. But I have a list of about 15 videos that I'm going to be doing, and yeah, down the line for sure. Pedal reverb pitch bend sounds good, says Leo. Yeah, it's tempting, isn't it? It is tempting. Well, here's our new capacitor. I got this kit from retroleum.co.uk. There isn't a link below right now, but I'll try and remember to put one in there. But they do really great cap kits, and they do it for each individual revision. So this is the 250407 revision A, so you'll get a specific kit for that. So it's very nice. Retroleum.co.uk. And then Jim Devil says on the Retro Man Cave, we're talking about your red keyboard. That's right. That is right. So with these, remember, you've got to get the polarity correct, the correct way around. Now this one came out, I think it was this way, right? Who remembers which way negative was? I think that's negative up there, or is that positive? No, this is negative. So it came out this way. Can someone confirm, help me, negative on this one is south? Does that sound right? I see a little minus there, and I see a plus up here. It'll be marked on the board by the pins. So Leo, we have a minus, or is that a faded plus down there? But I do see a plus up here also. I think they marked the plus back in those days, didn't they? Whereas they put the minus on the capacitor. What do you think? Is that a plus? Can you guys see that? Just by the pin there. See if this thing focuses. It's a minus or a faded plus. I'm gonna say, because we've got plus down south, that's got to be a plus. So before we do that, however, I am going to get everybody's favorite tool, the solder sucker, and just clean up really quickly these 2 pins. Get a little more tin on that iron there. Leo says check against the cap still in the board. Yeah, those ones, good point. Actually no, those ones are correct, the other caps. This one was the one that was plugged up. See that there? And there we go. I love it when it melts like that. Be a little quicker with the solder sucker. Oh, okay. Our solder sucker has a gift for us. When it gets full up, it actually rejects and spits out the last lot of solder. Put that on eBay. Crap, I dropped it in my Powerade. It's probably tasty. Powerade Zero, not Zero Lead. So it's being stubborn, huh? Let's see how it is. Yeah. Yes! Look at that. Nice hole there. Leo doesn't know enough about electronics. You sound like you do, mate. So I'm trusting you on your hunch, but I think my hunch is the same. So we've got plus down here, and then the capacitor shows that negative is up there. So it looks like things are the right way around. And that means we're going to put negative this way around. So negative is this pin, positive is this pin. So this is my technique for recapping these things. If you check out my other videos, maybe you've already seen it, I talk about this technique. It's kind of handy. It's not so necessary with the big capacitors because they stay in place pretty easily when you're soldering, but certainly for the smaller ones, I would recommend this. Before I show you that, I've just got to open up this pin just a little more. It's still being slightly stubborn. Don't want to force anything. There it comes. So what I like to do is just bend one pin whilst you solder the other. So by bending one, you keep the capacitor in place, and then soldering the other one, you get to do them one at a time. Easy way to know polarity, says Alan, hey Alan, is to check with one of the points, if one of the points goes to ground. That's a very good point. I think I'm safe on this because I'm pretty sure that was a faded plus sign. But yeah, you could use the multimeter to check on that. I'm just going to go with this. I've got a good feeling about this. So I've bent one leg over, and I'm going to solder the one that's upright. That way you don't get the kind of bent ends, the little spiky bent ends. You get nice straight ends. You'll see what I mean. So just heat up one side of the leg and solder from the other. So you're not heating up the solder, you're heating the leg itself. And then just push the solder down into the hole, as it were, and release. So that's now nice and tight in there, which means this one is now holding the capacitor in place, and we can bend this one up and solder it straight as well. So again, just heat the leg. I like my capacitors with hot legs, especially if they're crystals. So I do need to tin the soldering iron more. If it's not melting the solder, just need to add some heat conductivity. So tin the soldering iron some more, and you can see solder melts straight away. Good. Check everything looks nice on the other side, and then we'll just snip those legs off nice and close to the board. One. And I always keep these because you never know if you're going to need a jumper for something. Very handy. Okay, so capacitor's in place, old one is out. Let's try it out. I mean, if this works, it's going to be a early Christmas miracle. I don't think it's going to be this simple. Yeah. Okay, so we've got our power, we've got our video cable. I'm going to turn you around and show you what's happening. It's our TV. There we go. Live TV, folks, live TV. Hey Vincent, what's cooking? Hopefully not this. Okay, I'm going to turn it on in 3, 2, 1. Bollocks. Okay, that did not work. Yeah. Okay, I'll turn it off. Back to the drawing board, guys. Back to the workbench. Reseat all the socket chips, says Maria. Hey, Maria. Before going further, especially the PLA. Interesting. So we've done the likely capacitor, but we've still got to do these two, I think, just to be safe. But reseating the socket chips is an interesting idea, especially the PLA. Why not? Let's just do that. That's a nice and easy thing that you could do without even having to take the bottom shield off. So let's try it out. Also, the VIC is something I want to look at. So as part of the refurb coming up for this, where I'm actually going to be putting this board, once it's working, in the dishwasher. Yes, I want to do a video, probably in the next week or two, about putting a Commodore 64 mainboard in the dishwasher to clean it, instead of all that scrubbing. And you know, usually I have my denatured alcohol spray and my brush, and it's fun, and you feel like you're paying a lot of care and attention to these things. But I want to see how the dishwasher method works, and for that you do have to desocket all the chips. And I'm going to remove this shield around the VIC completely, because again, that's redundant. And these look kind of more modern without the shield. And then I'm also going to just tidy up this, take this off completely and respray it. If you saw my first refurbish, I don't know if you saw refurbish this Commodore 64 episode 1, but I resprayed this with a metal spray. It looked really good. I've also got some heat sinks ready to go, and we're going to make this thing look like a brand new, fully working PCB. So let's go with Maria's suggestion. And Leo says, reseating can help. You don't even have to pull the chips fully out of the sockets. Halfway out. This is actually a really good chip extractor, so it might just be easy enough to take them straight out, and we can just look for any kind of damage or leaks. There is a little corrosion here. Let me just show you. See that on that pin there? So I have contact cleaner. Although I'm putting this in the dishwasher, I was going to run contact cleaner over it first. So I'm going to just do that in here. That's a lot came out. A question for you guys, kind of trivia. Obviously you shouldn't turn on a board when it's wet. Question is it okay to turn on a board when it has wet contact cleaner on it? Okay, while I remove the rest of these chips, I'm going to leave that question open to you. Leave the SID out anyway, good point, because the machine will work without the SID. It only requires that to make sound, but it still powers on without it, which is kind of cool. Oh, okay, this one is really being stubborn. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't want to force anything here, so I'm just going to get under there with a screwdriver. If I can find it, a good one. Oh, there it is. Hey Mindflare Retro, thanks for joining us. Hey Jan Bita. I didn't do my impression, Jan. Hi, it's Jan Bita. It's getting better. It's getting better. So the answer to the trivia question which I asked is it okay to leave the contact spray on the board when you turn it on? Vincent says you need to bath it with water and soak later after it's dry. Use isopropyl alcohol. Leo says, what was the board number? This is the 250407. Never power on the board when wet, but I have seen a C64 get urinated on. I remember you telling me about that. While powered on, but that's a story for another day. Well, no, Leo, you've brought it into today's video, and it's a story for today. Gosh, stranger things probably have never happened to Commodore 64 than at the party that Leo went to, where somebody peed on the main board, and it still worked. Sounds like quite a party. This is coming off now, this is coming out. Trivia guys, what's this chip? That's a sound you don't want to hear. Oh, sorry guys. Whoa. Yeah, these are being pretty stubborn. So I don't want to risk breaking something, so we'll try kind of one at a time, just re-socketing these and just see what happens, okay? Yeah, let's try this. We'll turn it on because we've re-socketed that. I am, of course, going to just dry here. Now, the contact cleaner contains alcohol, so you can kind of see that it has largely dried itself up. But we'll give it a helping hand. That's interesting. This is a cleaning duster, which seems to have sprayed some kind of freeze spray on there, but I think we'll be good. Lee was talking about his party. Oh, so the Commodore 64 was running the traffic light disco kit. Who remembers those? Nice. Alright. I'm going to leave the SID out anyway, so no issues there. Alright, I'm going to turn you around and show you what happens. Let's turn it on. Bollocks! Okay, it is not reseating that chip, and we'll just keep going. An idiot who's supposed to be your mate thought it'd be funny to piss on the C64. I hope that electricity shot right up his Percy, and he would never do that again. Please tell me that happened. Okay, let's go with the CIAs as per the advice on the chat here. Take the CIAs out. So Jan, you've seen what we just saw there. It's sort of an oscillating color picture flying past the screen. Have you had any experience of a similar kind of fault? God, this does not want to come out. It's strange. Let's see what Jan Bita has to say. So great to have you back, Jan. I've really missed your videos. I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way. This one is slowly coming out. What up, Chad? What up, dudes? Have I tested the RF output? Jim Devil, what's your thinking with testing the RF output? You're thinking it's a composite or an S-video issue? Interesting point. Yeah. Jan Bita says maybe something to do with the oscillator next to the VIC-2. So what I'm going to do, I'll just take out these two CIAs, I think, if I can easily. We'll finish ruling that out, and then we'll move on to the VIC2 area and look at the oscillators, or the oscillator next to the VIC2. Trying to get this one out without using the chip extractor because it was not playing ball. And sometimes it's easier just to go old school and use a watch screwdriver. I'll try that. Sorry, Fef, I may have missed your suggestion, the RF question. Yeah, we're definitely going to come to that as a troubleshooting step. Finish taking out this other CIA. There we go, it's finally moving. I cannot wait to stick this board in the dishwasher and contact spray everything and just get everything working back to clean status. Although it's not terrible in there. If you saw my Extreme C64 refurb video recently, you'll know there are a lot worse Commodore 64s that we could be dealing with, namely caked on mud. Put these on eBay. Good idea, Vincent. No, I do not approve of that. So I'm going to turn it on without the CIAs in. Let's just see what goes on here. Alright, so I think we rule out. It's a little different, but I think no, it's the same. It's the same. We've ruled out the CIA being the cause of this particular issue. Turn it off. This is some great teamwork, guys. I really am very appreciative of you guys going down this little journey as a collaborative effort. We're definitely ruling things out, and you know, there'll be a point sometime next year when we've done all of the troubleshooting steps on this board. That noise! Always be careful when you put these back in. Make sure all the pins are aligned, and just apply gentle, firm pressure evenly once all the pins are sitting in their holes. Kind of like that. A zip tie under the CIA to pull it up. That's a great idea, actually, Chad. I had never even thought of that. That is fascinating. Yeah, I'm gonna try that next time. For now, let us remove this unnecessary VIC to cover here and get inside here and take a good look. Easier said than done, as always. Who's got a good technique for taking these off? I wonder. Maybe a zip tie. No, that wouldn't work. There we go. Now I'm going to be putting this on eBay anyway, so it doesn't matter. I'm not going to be using it again. Not really. I keep them all in a drawer. Okay. It's almost guaranteed not to be a problem on the left side, it says Leo. It's the board near the logic and the RAM of the board. Okay, yeah, so it's not we think an issue over here with the logic and the RAM, so most likely around the VIC output area. You know, I kind of stopped replacing those capacitors. We did one. The way things are going, I have a sneaking suspicion it's going to be that middle one that we nearly did at the start. We'll just follow this track, because I don't want to jump. I don't want to zigzag and jump around the ideas too much. Try not to slice my hand open. Getting in here. I injured my thumb recently. Can you guess how I did? You'll never guess. I did that by burning it with hot glue that I couldn't remove whilst installing a toilet roll holder. Don't ask me why I was using hot glue to install a toilet roll holder. It's a long story. Has nothing to do with the guy peeing on the Commodore 64. Although he could have used it. Am I doing this correctly? I think I am. It's just very stubborn. Yeah, and I haven't seen the video where you use a crowbar to remove the shielding. Please add a link to that video. I want to see that. Yeah, this is really stubborn, huh? I think slightly larger screwdriver here, and we're getting some progress. There it is. Kind of crowbarring it up. Ta-da! Oh, hello. Okay. So this hasn't come off since the factory, I would hazard a guess. Put that on eBay. Oh, shoot. And Timo says, the pattern hints towards some kind of timing syncing problem, VIC or oscillator. Try the RF2 just based on a feeling. I'm going to leave the RF test just for a little later because I would have to rummage around for the correct cable. But right now I have more important problems. My background music tape has just come to the end, so we have to rewind that. Priorities. While that's happening, okay, well that's our crystal, and if I'm not mistaken, let me just show you guys this. Is that... Hold on a minute, guys. Hold on a minute. Do you see what I see here? Are those two legs touching? They may just be far enough removed that they're not touching, but I am definitely going to pull those apart and turn on the computer one more time. I doubt it's going to be that simple, but hey, we've got to try it. So, interesting. That's resistor C86. I mean, it's connected to this anyway, but not on that end. Interesting. Well, let's just try that real quick. Sorry if there are live streaming artifacts. But yeah, those legs were touching. Let me turn it on. Bollocks! Same issue. Okay. It wasn't that simple anyway, so ignore that. That would have been nice. Okay, I need you guys' help. Which is the oscillator? What's the oscillator next to the VIC? I see the VIC itself, and I'm going to take that out and swap it right now. While I do that, let me know which one is the oscillator. Okay. Yeah, swapping out the VIC now, Ox. Great minds think alike. I might take this shield off real quick, because I'm going to be getting rid of it anyway, and it's kind of in the way. So whilst we do some more team troubleshooting, I'll remove that ugly thing. I do have a spare, and the music is coming back. Alright, let's do this swap out with music. A bit loud. Beta tells us it may not be the VIC itself. I'm going to test that in a second. Thank you, Egon. Definitely going the old school route of providing music in my videos. And yes, I did clean the heads before I started using this. You got it, Egon. So, Jan-Bita, you mentioned the crystal and the 4 logic chips are all there to provide the timing for the VIC. I do have a spare crystal. I may be out of luck if it's one of these 4 that are the culprit. But we can do the crystal, we can swap out the VIC, and we can go from there and try these caps if not. But I'm still determined to get rid of this shield. Hopefully it's going to be a little easier now. Twist off these support legs here. And then just get a hammer and you just... No, you don't do that. Anacondes says perhaps the most wise comment we've had here, really philosophical and existential, says something. And I think, I mean, who can disagree that it is something? Thank you, Anacondes. We do have to just take a bit more solder off here. And some of you have left me comments saying that you wish my videos were longer. I hope you're happy. This is going to be long, but it's with good people. That's something I always say about this whole retro computing community is, my gosh, the comments are always nothing but positive. We're all, I think, so like-minded with retro gaming and retro computing. Gotcha. We're kind of all on the same boat and all heading to the same destination, and it's really cool how nice everyone is. What's not cool is how stubborn these legs are being. Yeah, I think we're getting there with that. That one's free already. That's our modulator, we don't want to do that. Timo has all night. Okay. It's 12:30 p.m. here in Los Angeles. So just coming up on lunchtime in the next hour for me. So I will let you go before then, hopefully with a fix to this. This is a real mess around here. Looks like someone might have had a stab at that already. Oh, I did miss one there. Cybernoid gets people in the mood for desoldering. I love the music to Cybernoid 2 is I think my second or maybe favourite track. Thala music is up there too. Anacondes, are you slighting The Last Jedi there? No comment. So I'll tell you guys a little interesting fact if you haven't been following my Twitter. Hawk says use the Force. So let's see, there's 36 of you watching right now, and hello to everyone watching on the replay later. There's a little movie coming out tonight in America and elsewhere called Avengers Infinity War. If you happen to be at a screening, And what you want to do is, if there are enough devices left, and there usually are plenty, is ask them for a audio description device. It's a little gadget with some headphones, and it syncs up to a voice that's encoded with the movie. And that person's voice narrates everything that's happening on screen for you. And that person's voice is mine. I was lucky enough to record the audio description for Avengers Infinity War. Yes, I've seen the whole movie. Yes, I can't tell you anything. Yes, it's really good, seriously. But yeah, check it out. Little tidbit for you there for joining me as thanks. Getting there, slowly. Getting there. Come on, Soldier Sucker, don't let us down now. This is proving tricky, huh? I might have to just save this for a little later. Let me just see if I can get it off at this point. I don't want to rush something and damage things. Well, it's coming out now. It's coming out now. Jan Bita, I need to borrow your crowbar. Can you FedEx it real quick from Germany? Dankeschön, mein Herr. Das ist gut, ja? Sprechen Sie Deutsch, Jan Bita? Ja. So let's see here. Shameless advertising. Yeah, I don't get any money for advertising it. I'm just very proud to have worked on a cool film like that. Let's see what Fairfight says. Oh, he's having his meal. That's fine. You just take your time. I'll take my time too. Any company, Leo, my voice is encoded with the actual movie that gets distributed to every cinema. That's how I understand it. They don't pay me per word, sadly. It's just like any other job. There's no royalties. I show up, I do hopefully a good day's work, and just get paid for that one job. But the fun thing was, because I'm not in the credits of the movie, because I'm not actually in the movie, I'm in the spoken credits, so I got to speak my own name. So I think it says something like audio description by Deluxe Media, voice by PERI, that's me, Chris, and then it says funded by Walt Disney Motion Pictures, something like that. Thanks, Jan. Dankeschön. Did there used to be a Jan Alpha? This is a question all of us need to know the answer to. Probably Jan Beta Senior, I would imagine. Alright, this is coming off, guys. Finally. Good one, Jan. Used to be Jan Alpha as a kid. Ah! Oops, don't do that, guys. Don't do that. One day you'll be Jan Beta or Jan Golden. Or even Jan Release Candidate. I think you're ready for release. This last one is so fiddly. I need not only a crowbar, but one of you to come over here and just hold this while I crowbar it off. Don't want to damage anything. Come on. You can do it. Sorry, a nice shot of my hair there. Alright, let's have another go at this. So I had a couple of questions. Anyone seen the Amiga 500 cases that went on Kickstarter? I haven't had a good look, but I heard about them. And anyone getting the Ultimate 64? Thanks, Ian. Now more than ever, I do need helping hands. I tell you the Kickstarter that I really liked recently, it's the new Amiga that they're planning, someone is planning. Did you guys see that? It looks like they got the balance just right. It's a brand new machine, but it kind of looks like the Amiga 1200. It has obviously HDMI and all that good stuff. But the design of it, I immediately started drooling over the computer and had to repair it for water damage. Looked really, really nice. Tell me if you've seen that. Hey Joseph, welcome to the Nerd Party. We are just trying to get this last pin off this VIC shield so that we can remove the whole shield and get better access to the 4 chips in there and the oscillator and they provide the oscillation and the crystal, and see what's causing this fault that you saw on the thumbnail for this video itself. Do you know what I need is one of those powered desoldering stations. Really would be so handy. Can't leave it halfway off like this, can I? Oh, the Zap 64 annual actually launches tomorrow, huh? So I'm going to add some solder while we're talking about this, just to try and get even more removal of this solder here. I loved Zap 64 as a kid so much. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I'm definitely going to be supporting that Kickstarter. I think that, what's his name? The guy that's writing for Freeze 64, I think he's contributing to it. I keep wanting to say Jason Bateman, but that's the actor. I think his name was Yaz or Jazz. Not Jason, but Jazz. Whoa, shoot. Don't do that. Yeah, I may need a thicker tip on the soldering iron, that is, because I'm currently adding more solder and kind of making things no better. The trouble is, switching the tip when it's hot, I have to leave you guys waiting. I don't really want to do that. I'm going to clean out the sucker though, because that's lost its suction. If only we had a bigger tip and more suction, hey. Sorry about the stream. I am on a very high speed, high speed connection. I'm not sure there's a huge amount I could do about that right now. Hopefully it's going to clear up. Jazz Rignall, Julian Rignall, thank you. Great, John Zini. Thanks for sticking by us, Anacondes. Yeah, there's so much retro stuff happening now. It's kind of beautiful. What a time to be alive. Well, actually, 1984 was the time to be alive. But what a time to be alive again. It's a little better. Yeah. I need to clean out the tip of this thing. I wouldn't usually do it over the Commodore 64. Thought you might want to see what I was doing. Okay, I'm going to have one last go at this, desoldering this really thick pin, and then sorry Robbie, and then we'll see what happens. Okay. Tin the tip. Any of you guys read Freeze 64? It started out as a kind of poking and hacking, cracking magazine. How to crack your favorite games and activate the cheat modes. But now Julian Ricknell is writing for them. I think he calls it Zap Back. And it's evolving slightly into more of a mainstream magazine. A lot of fun. For all we know, the editor is watching this video now, joining us in the chat. I don't actually know if anything's possible. This is really being stubborn here for us. I think it knows that it's on live TV and it's trying to hog all the limelight. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to go one more time and see what happens. If I can lever this off whilst I heat it, will be good. If not, I am going to move on. So let's get the screwdriver into that crevice and heat up the pin. And then I'm just going to lever while I do that. It's working, guys. It is working. I did it. Okay, look. See, that's off there. Who knew this would be the most challenging part of the video? Removing the Vic housing. Okay, and that one little bit to go, and we will get to extracting the Vic and checking the crystal. Yeah, so I think levering these off while you heat them is the key. Let's see here. Did you catch the force the legs apart comment? Who said that? Certainly not me. Need a rubber mat on that desk. I mean, it's a pretty soft self-healing cutting mat, so it kind of does the job. Alright, here goes nothing. One more tiny bit of solder and pull this last pin out. There it is. Ah, finally. Now, I don't know if you saw that, but the soldering iron holster came out. Now that happened once, and I picked it up and it was red hot, and I had a scar for weeks. Anyway, anyone want this? I'm going to put this on eBay, so check that out later. Whoops. See, now doesn't that look cleaner? Now we've got rid of the housing and the shielding there. I love the way that looks, just more modern to me. Finally, we won. Okay. Jan, your crowbar is no longer needed. Okay, right. I'm going to now finally be able to get my chip extractor in there and remove the Vic. Now, Jan, you rightly said that's probably not the cause of this. Because it's easier than removing the crystal, I'm going to just do that, just to rule it out. And somewhere here I have a NTSC Vic chip. Now it'd be good to know what revision or what model this is before we replace it, because technically it's best not to replace it with a different version. Sometimes it's going to give you problems. So let's just remove this thermal paste here. See what we got under there. This is a 6567. This is an NTSC machine. Just thinking, the 6567 is NTSC, right? I don't have spares for every chip, but I have spares for a few of the main ones, CIAs, PLA, even a SID somewhere. Right, let's see if we have a 6567. Doesn't matter so much about the revision number that you're changing it for. Let's see what's in the retro recipes saucepan. 6567 revision 8, revision 8, revision 9, revision 8. Honestly, any 6567 is going to be a straight swap. So I'm going to go for this one. So as always, make sure you line up the notch on the chip with the notch on the slightly loose socket there. Just want to check that. Looks okay. Alright, put that in. A little bent leg there. Don't take any chances when you push this down. Make sure all the legs are in those holes, alright? Nice. Original NMOS. Yep, that is a MOS chip. Indeed. Alright, so put these to one side. That's our extracted one. And that's a PAL one. You can tell that because if you can see there, it says 6569 revision 3. Okay, let's try it out, shall we? There's almost no point trying this because the ammeter is gonna be right. I'm sure of it. Guy knows his stuff, but let's see. 6569 is PAL. Thank you, Leo, just for correcting. Fingers crossed. Maria, everyone, please cross your fingers. I turned it on. Okay, different. That is differently broken. This is weird. So I turned it on. I no longer have the oscillation issue. Everything's connected. Turn it on again, okay? 3, 2, 1. Whoops, indeed. What do we think? Did I replace it with a dead Vic? Answers on a postcard or just in the chat would be great. What do we think? What's going on here? SID should be okay that it's removed, but nothing to lose by putting the SID back in now that the contact cleaner has dried up. So I will do that. Good idea. Maybe the socket's broken. It was a bit loose, yeah. Okay, we'll try the SID first. This is great teamwork. I love this. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I think it's safe to say it's not the SID. Yeah. wiggle it a bit, is Jan's suggestion. Socket was a bit loose after all. Okay, it has been wiggled. Turn it on, 3, 2, 1. Okay, turn it off. Now I could swap it back for the old one, but I think it will go back to how it was. I do have more spares, so I think what I'll do is take out this one and just put in another of my spares. See what's going on. That sound like a good idea? What do you think? We're lining up the Vic chips here. How about we use this nice ceramic one? It's one of the early ones, look at that. Toast another Vic in the board of death. Maybe I'll rename this video. The board of death, live. Okay, ceramic, it's all on you. Let's toast the ceramic one. I don't think we're toasting the chips, hopefully. I think the issue is elsewhere. It is a nice Vic. Let's see if the Vic gets hot as well, as suggested by Rob. CIA chips, fair fight, we took those out and the issue remains, so it probably points towards it not being CIA related, but we can always come back to that. Checking the voltages is also a good idea. I want to check the voltages on the caps, but maybe I'll just replace the caps and just kind of get to the end of that pathway anyway. Vihapu says, have we ruled out the PAL chip? So this is a NTSC variant Vic chip, and that's what we're doing now, is checking those. Yeah, and putting good chips in. Are we going to blow this up? No, I don't know what to do. Okay. I mean, the problem is they're all good chips, as far as I know. Everything in the Retro Recipe saucepan is supposedly working. I'm going to try once more, and then we'll definitely stop doing this. But I think we might see a different result. Okay, turning on the C64 in 3, 2, 1. Nada. Nada. Alright, so I'm going to put back in that original and just make sure we haven't created a different issue. We should go back to the oscillating picture. Let's try it. Sadly, your prayers didn't work, Timo. Thoughts and prayers are with families of these 3 chips. They're all family, really. Came from the same factory. So this is our original, minus thermal paste. Set it back in there. Here we go. 3. Position you. 3, 2, 1. Well, we've had prayers. How about thoughts? Any thoughts, guys? One chip gives oscillating color picture. The other 2 chips give us nada. Jan, I know that you were pretty keen on looking at the crystal. So I've got a few options now. I could change the crystal or change these 2 caps. Leo, that's also, I was thinking that. Try just reflowing the solder in the Vic. Reflowing the solder in the Vic. We haven't tried the PLA yet. Be happy. Thanks for clarifying. Yeah, let's reflow this, and it's not going to hurt us while we have a joint teamwork regroup and chat about what's going on here. This is our Vic here. Little flux pen just to help with reflowing that joint. Jan, I didn't check the voltage regulators yet, and I would ask for your guidance on that. I do have new ones. And Boris says pictorial C64 fault guide says that's PLA fault number 10. Yeah, interesting. We've got to try sort of one thing at a time. PLA fault number 10. Do you have a link to that guide? I did check on that when I first turned this on, and it didn't seem to match anything that I could see, but you probably spotted something that I missed. So tell me if you have a link to that. Just doing a basic kind of reflow here of what's already there. You know what? That pin there was actually very loose. Yeah, so someone else, take a look at the, while I do this, feel free to take a look at the pictorial fault guide and see what it says. If that looks right, just we'll get a second opinion on that. I'm sure you're probably right though. In the meantime, I'm just tinning the soldering iron and reflowing a couple of these looser pins here, okay? I'm just reading, so Jan, you're saying check the voltage regulators with a multimeter. The third pin is output, middle is ground. Should be close to 12 volts and 5 volts. Awesome, awesome advice. I'm going to just finish reflowing these and then we'll go check those. Thanks to everyone who's suggesting things and has suggested those earlier on. It's a process of elimination. I managed to join 2 pins there. That's better. Just doing a quick kind of touch up here. Yeah, Egon, I did have a cursory look at that guide, as I said, and I couldn't see anything that looked like that. Have a look at that PLA fault 10. It doesn't look like the same issue. It did seem to be a, oops, joined those up again. It did seem to be a new kind of a fault that I hadn't seen on that guide. I have used that guide a few times. There we go. A bit better there. Yeah, it looks a little different, Jim Devil. Okay. We'll come back to that. You know, we can always, we'll kind of triage the fault finding and do things in the order of most likely culprit. So I have now reflowed the solder, just a very cursory version of that, and putting back in the original Vic, and we'll do a quick turn on and see what's going on. Come on, power. There you are. That was on already, and it looked the same. Let me just show you. So there's our fault. I would say that reflowing the solder has not fixed anything. Okay, back to the drawing board or the workbench. Turn it off. So Jan, when you say the oscillator, you're referring on this board to basically a combination of the crystal and these 4 chips, is that correct? I'm going to go get my multimeter. Hi, it's multimeter. C19 capacitor. Thank you, Jan. Refers to the whole circuitry. So, Luke says it could be the C19 capacitor. Trying to refresh my memory. C19 is the big one. We already replaced that at the start. Great guess, and I think that was my likely culprit. Anyway, so Jan, I'm going to do what you said here about the voltage regulators. So on 7812, which is this guy, you think we should be looking at 12 volts. Third pin is output, middle pin is ground. So third pin is pin 2, and then middle pin 3 is ground. I think that's what we're saying. So you guys hopefully can see the multimeter. Let me turn on the light. Of course we have to power the board. Duh. Okay. So pin 3, pin 2. Hang on. I think I have a fault with the multimeter when the backlight is on. That yeah, some things go a bit weird. So I'm gonna turn that off. Alright. Use any shield as ground reference. Okay. So I'm seeing 12.69. So I think, Jan, if you would agree, 7812 is good. And then 7805 should be 5 volts. So 7805, I think is it this guy? Must be. So let's see if we get a 5 volt reading there. On pins 1 and 3. Sorry, pins 2 and 3. Yep, 5.2 volts. So we're going to rule out the voltage regulators, I think. This collaborative effort is truly mind-blowing. Yeah, seems okay. Alright, so team, all 50 of you, including me, what's next? Do we swap out the crystal? Do we swap out these 2 caps? Or do some more multimeting? With the other VICs inserted, it looked like a PLA fault. You know, anything is possible this time. It's not the screen because I have another working Commodore 64, which works fine on that monitor. And also this was advertised as faulty. So I'm pretty confident that we are, we're onto the fault that the other guy saw as well, which wouldn't be with the screen. Another board to check the VIC2. That's a good point. I do have my good board, my good Commodore 64. Probably no harm in going and checking that. Yeah. I'm just trying to think what's the best thing. What do you think? We could swap out the PLA first and put in the other VIC, because I know this VIC works. which means when I put that in and I got a blank screen, it's not the VIC that's causing that fault. I'm tempted to just try the PLA because that's come up a few times in the chat with a known working VIC. So I'm going to just try that real quick. It's not going to cost us anything. Yeah, okay. Just hold the line, guys. 2 seconds. Have a little party. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. Yanbito says swap the crystal. Yeah, so many options. It's nice to have options, huh? Go get a Guinness and hope that it fixes itself. Or I could just pour some antifreeze on it. I'm going to drink it instead. That tastes better with that lead in it. So a few people still saying PLA. Nearly said something else there. So I am going to swap this PLA if I have another. So that's a... Okay, let me see what I have in stock. What are these? They are not PLAs. Oh wait. So I guess I need to ask you guys. This is a 906114 made in week 26 of 1984. Actually, I don't have to ask, these are not PLAs. I think they are ROMs. Anyone want to nip around with a new PLA for me? Here we go. What's this? 906-11401. Same year, made in week 15. So we'll just swap that out. Then we can rule out the PLA pretty much. Of course, we already reseated this earlier, so comes out nice and easy. It's always the PLA, says Timo. Except when it's not, says Egon. Both comments are true. Okay. I do not have an oscilloscope handy. Super Zeitloop. Yeah, we might have to leave that one till later. Okay, so we have a new PLA, we have our VIC2 that's known working. We're going back to the TV. It's on. Nada. Okay guys, we're going to rule out the PLA. So now we have a question. The suspense, I know. We can replace the crystal, or we can go get a known working VIC. Because I'm so sure about that VIC, I think I'm going to just skip to the crystal. Put our original PLA back in, just to keep things simplified. Cable was plugged in. Yes, that's fine. Oh, you're right. Shoot, sorry. Yeah, the video cable was unplugged, so that last test was completely pointless. Thanks Thank you everyone for noticing. Janbita, we are going to get to Crystal, sexy Crystal and her metal legs in a moment if I repeat this test with the video cable connected. I can't tell you the number of times I've done that and then not had you guys around to tell me. And yeah, it's definitely much better with you guys here. It's almost as bad as when you solder a DIN cable and forget to pull the shielding on first. Okay, let's try that again. Video is now going in. Oh yes. Facepalm Orly. Okay. Thank you guys. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Ah, bollocks. Okay. So we can now, I think, say safely that it's not the PLA. Alright, so back, rewind 1 minute. Thank you for logging in to tell me about the video cable. Keep an eye on that for me. Okay, so old PLA goes back in, and let's swap out the crystal. Music is nearly ready to play for the 3rd time on this 45-minute tape, which means we must be over an hour and a half now. You guys said you wanted longer videos. Alright. Let's get some crystal changing music. I think I have a crystal in stock, let me check. Alright, here we have Plinky Plonky. It's not just Plinky Plonky. This is actually the NTSC crystal that I took out of the board when I made the video about converting NTSC to PAL. And this one works, so this should be good. Yeah, let's get going. That's the one there. Sometimes it's handy just to make a little mark on the pins because it's kind of hard to find them again sometimes. We get our good old solder sucker. You guys in your comments. Alright. Solder sucker's not cooperating with us today. Just clean it out a little bit more. Spring. That was plinky plonky. The sucker does really suck today. On my Christmas list, I'm going to put a desoldering station. Alright. We'll try this. There we go. Yeah, maybe on its last legs, guys. Yeah, that antifreeze tasted really good. It's like grape or something like that. Yeah, look at that. Something stuck right in there. I say something, it's obviously going to be soldered. Thanks for the tip, Joseph. How much was that soldering station? Need to get me one of those. My watch says it's time to get moving. I'm good, thank you. I've been moving. 250 bucks, that's probably why I haven't bought one. It's a lot, man. Yeah. What a pain. Try a multimeter in it. It's actually kind of working. Multimeter this sucker out. Yeah. Any good tips for cleaning solder suckers? Good recommendation, Jan Bita. If only I had something really long and thin. I have this drill bit. Let's try that. Sorry for any noise, guys. Yeah! Small victory. Finally. There's the culprit right there. Alright. Back in business. Yeah, I'm also conscious that I'm probably handling leaded solder powder right now. Probably not an amazing thing to do, but yeah, what you gonna do? This is better when that's out. There we go. Okay. Look what came out. That's what the problem must have been. Oh yeah! Back in business. Let's go. And I'm now so glad that I marked these two bits because I now see exactly where to start desoldering. Oops. So the electric solder sockets have a lead, like a filter. Sorry guys, so the YouTube Live app crashed again. Wonderful stuff. I actually did use the same image from the fault as the thumbnail image for this video. So I tried to... that thing, I hate this thing. I tried taking out the crystal and it just needs a little more work on the solder. So it wouldn't come off easily, so I'm just going to kind of hold it and pull gently. And heat the pin while I pull, and it should just come straight out. There it goes. Alright, and then this one I think is just ground, but obviously we have to take it off. Heat it up and pull. There it goes. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Okay. Yeah, a few people are saying the upstream connection's not good. I have high-speed data, it's 200 megabits. Yeah, it could be YouTube, it could be my phone, my camera, my router. But I think we should blame the PLA. Alright, old crystal, new crystal. Well, actually old crystal, because new crystal is old. Now, question for Jan Vita and anyone else. We don't need this ground pin, correct? We can actually leave that off. I think it's superfluous, considered to be superfluous. Let us know. Now, because I removed this from the old one, it's only got enough pin length to just get through the holes there. So what I'm going to do is tape it to the board. And then just solder back in through the holes, kind of thing. Not 200 megabits upstream, that's a good point. I think it gets about 67, but we'll figure it out for the next one. So yeah, and I do need to ground that. Noted as the soldering iron holder came off yet again. That definitely needs hot glue as much as my thumb didn't. Okay, so we've stuck in the crystal there, and we're just going to solder into these holes here, and it should just fill up and join to those original legs. Lovely crystals legs there. That's one. And two. And nowhere to put our soldering iron until that cools down a little bit. Oh, it's hot. Jeesh. Okay. And then, as per Jan Vita, I am going to ground the ground to the ground as well. Should be good there. Okay, just going to reflow the ground solder there, and then add a little more in, push through and touch the pin that's on the other side, hopefully. Nope, not this time. Just use a little gentle pressure on my finger there, heating it up from the other side and pushing through. Yeah, now it's definitely too long because it's going to touch that resistor there, right there. So we'll just trim it down a bit. It's the simplest thing. Crystal is not from Dynasty. No, she is from my other Commodore 64 actually, which was featured in an episode of Dallas. Probably old enough. Bend that down a bit. Trim a little more off Crystal's third leg. Crystal does have 3 legs, which does put her into a kind of niche category among crystals. No other apps running in the background. And I even prioritized this device on Google Wi-Fi for 4 hours, so this device has all of the bandwidth assigned to it, so that you can watch the mutant crystal with her 3 legs being abused. It's very sad. Okay, I think that's in. No, it's not in. Oh, Crystal. Her mutant third leg was just off center there. It's not offensive, right? Because we're talking about a chip, a computer part. Right. Right. You sometimes wish you had smaller hands, guys? Okay, that should be good. Jeff Minter. Is he here? Nearly grounded. There we go. I felt it go. And it came out again. Jan, how important is this grounding? I'm just going to solder it from this side because that's going to give us the same result. Here we go. There we go. Crystal is in position. Okay, let's try it out. Can everyone please cross their fingers, cross their toes, and if you're Crystal, cross your 3 legs. This has got to work. Turn it off. Video. She is in position. You guys. infinity stones, nice. Crossing everything, alright. 3, 2, 1. Sorry guys, that was the best possible timing. YouTube Live crashed yet again. But sadly, this is the same result. So, after that wonderful moment, we have changed the crystal, we have changed the VIC, we've changed one capacitor. My mind is now to just recap these two and see where that takes us. You guys would be in agreement with that? Cliffhanger. The PLA, yeah, last I knew the second PLA that we tested was functional, but probably won't help. So I'm going to just recap these if nobody thinks that's completely pointless, and we'll see where that takes us next. Yeah, Jim Devil, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Let's do those other two, at least then we have some consistency. And we've tried this whole area. I don't have spares for these remaining oscillator 4 chips, so yeah, let's hope it's these. Are these both the same? 50 volt, 470 microfarad. Okay, yes, both the same. Let's take these out. Rip the cover off the modulator. Guys, I'm so sorry on behalf of the YouTube Android programming team. I'm going to obviously relay to them what's happening during this stream. Yeah, annoying, but nothing I can do about it. It worked before, and it probably works in the future, but right now it's having some challenges. I would reboot, but that would just keep you guys waiting for too long. So we're just going to get these caps out and take it from there. Hi guys, I've rebooted and I'm back. Fingers crossed, okay? If you have an oscilloscope, you can get a rough idea of the amount of ripple on the power rails by setting the multimeter to AC millivolts. Good to know, Electron Ash. Yeah, we'll come back to that as well. Okay, gonna get this final pin off this capacitor, just kind of begging to be removed like an obedient dog or something. Okay, second cap is out. This is ridiculous. Yeah. Okay, so just checking something here on the app, guys. Appreciate your patience for a second while I do that. Okay, can you guys see me? You can see the stream okay? Just making sure you're back online while I solder suck these capacitor pins out here. Hi Gadget UK. So you might have seen the thumbnail image for this video. That was actually from the fault. So thanks so much for joining us. It's basically giving a multicolored, oscillating, flashing, flickering display that looks just like that thumbnail. Other than that, the only other issue is our solder suckers not been behaving very well, as you can see. Electron Ash, you tell me that now? I've got the caps off. Yeah, we're just rolling out a few final easy fixes that we can do here. Finally got that capacitor unplugged there. And that one, I think we've got our solder sucker back in business. I enjoy watching Gadget UK when you get annoyed with your solder sucker. I know how you feel, mate. I know how you feel. Okay. Get these two in here. I'm just going to clean up real quick there with the denatured alcohol. Once we get these in, if the fault persists, then at least Gadget UK, you can have a look as well and see exactly what was going on. So I'm going to do a quick solder of these. We've swapped out the PLA, we've swapped out the VIC, we've replaced the crystal, we've taken out the SID, we've reseated some chips, and we took out the CIAs. So far none of that has changed the behavior. Excuse me. The only difference was when we put in two other known working VIC chips, we saw that the screen was blank instead of flashing colors. So a little strange, a little mysterious. Okay, nearly there with these caps. Okay. I'm just reading your comments here. It looks a bit like a ZX81 loading screen. Yeah, it kind of does. No text. Yeah. Now watch wants me to move. Does it not know what I'm doing? Okay guys. If anything, it's looking a little smarter now. We've got the new caps. They're all in the right place. We've removed our VIC shielding, which always makes a difference. Let's turn this on. Gadget UK, are you ready to see what happens here with this strange behavior? Or maybe we just fixed it. Who knows? Alright, turning around to take a look. Okay guys, this is it. 3, 2, 1. Yeah. So I'm going to just show Gadget UK without the ceramic VIC what occurs. So the original VIC that was actually in the machine was this one here, and that's where we get the weird colours. So let me show you what's going on with that. And then I'm going to come to your question about testing the 5-volt line on the VIC. Just want to see if this is something you've seen before. So that's the original VIC. Show you how that looks, okay? 3, 2, 1. It's pretty, but it's not ideal. So your suggestion here is check the 5-volt line on the VIC. Pin 40, 5 volts, and 12 volts on pin 13. Okay, let's try that. Turn it off. Hi guys, sorry about that. This is the YouTube app crashing. I'm going to feed that back to them as soon as we get off with this. Not get off with this, but get off this stream. So someone do me a favor, remind me which is pin 40. We can call this some learning and trivia. And then I'm going to test the 5 volts. And I'm just reading while I wait for that info. You could have a supply problem. The other possibility is a transistor on video output. Let's check some schematics. Yeah, suggests a video problem to you. I would agree with that. As I say, we've changed the crystal. I don't have spares in stock for these 4 which deal with the oscillator. And we've changed the VIC, so yeah. Supply problem. Egon, that's a really good idea. I'm gonna just finish this train of thought and then we can go to that. And unfortunately no oscilloscope right now. So pin 40 is up here. So we're expecting 5 volts on that. So let's go to a known grounding point anywhere on here. And pin 40. Try. Power. See, this is what I said earlier. You guys can't do this without you guys. Alright, here we go. I did have a game cart. When I tried it with Sam's Journey, for example, the color output is a little different looking. So yeah, there is the video that's coming through is a signal that the machine is trying to output from whatever is happening. So 5 volts we are seeing right there on our pin 40. And then we've got, let's see here, I do have a dead test. Unfortunately it's on a cartridge that I have to load it from the cartridge, so I can't get to that stage to actually load up the dead test. And then pin 13 we think on the left is going to be 12 volts, so let's try that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, everyone count with me. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 5.35. Try again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay. Gadget UK, should I be getting 5.36 volts on pin 13? Should be 12 volts, no? And then I'm reading what you're saying, could be a modulator problem. Do I have a tape and a keyboard? I do. Try pressing play on tape. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, crystal has been swapped. Okay, so first things first, we'll stay on this train of thought. I'm going to try removing the SID with the power off, of course, and see how this affects. We already removed the SID earlier, just to look at the screen, but let's see how this changes things. I think what we're saying is try pin 13 without the SID in place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, still 5.3 something. Count from the top down, says Timo. So that was pin 40. Oh yeah, right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 12 volts. Whoops, we had the chip upside down. So Gadget UK, we are getting 12.8 volts. So I think we can rule out issues with the 12 volt rail. Hope you would agree with that. I'm gonna pop the SID back in. Power is off. Thanks, Boris. Yeah, I got it. So, yeah, next stop I think is, as you said, try shift run stop and see if we get some tape action going. So, hold the line. I'm gonna go grab the tape and be right back. Hold the line, please. Okay guys, here we go. Let's try this out. So let's see if we get some tape action going on here. Just reading your comments, make sure that everything, that I'm up to speed before I do this. Measure again with the SID in. So the SID was in when I measured that. Or was it? No, you're right. So let's do this again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Make sure we got it right. 12.84. So that's good enough, I think, for the 12 volts. Thank you for that. Then we've got, bye Jan, thank you so much. Jan Bita. Hi, this is Jan Bita. Bye, this is Jan Bita. He's gone. You measured 12 volts when the SID was out, but you may now have reduced 12 volts again. Yeah, so okay, cool. Catching up, and we've ruled that out now. And then I think that's everything, and I'm up to date. We suspect something else killed the Vic. Excuse me. All right, let's do this. Thanks for ruling out the 12 volts. That is good. We know that's not the issue. So power is on now. I'm going to shift run stop. Nada. Try that again. Shift run stop. Keyboard is in, tape is in, power is on, play is engaged, shift run stop does nothing. We haven't ruled out the 6510 yet. Robbie, just to answer your question. Temp check the CPU and ROM chips. Yeah, okay. Let's get this out of the way. What if it was the 6510 all along? I don't have an infrared temperature gauge, but the 6510 is hot. This guy's very hot. These two are warm. Yeah, they're hot. Good old finger test. Everything is hot. Check the reset pin on the 6510. I will come to that, yeah. I'm just checking the RAM here with my finger as well. Quick temp check. Logic. They do all seem warm. Yeah, okay, so Gadget UK, you quite rightly say if the tape deck isn't starting, you could have a faulty CPU, kernel, basic, or supporting TTL or RAM. Try to type load. Okay, you can try to type load. I'll try the reset in a second. Let's just do load here. Nothing. Power's on, everything's connected. Okay, press stop. Okay, so I'm going to connect the video just so that I can see the reset working or not working. And let's try that. Reset pin on CPU is 40. Are the CIA socketed? They are actually, and we did remove both, and it made no difference to the issue. Leave them both out, that's fair enough. Good point. Where is my chip extractor? It's probably buried. Yeah, good idea. So we don't have any confusion. So power is off. Take out the SID. Take out the CIAs. These were a little stubborn initially, but I should have loosened them now. Yeah. And then remind me, pin 40 reset, because I've only done that a long time ago. Do I just go ground and pin 40? Just so you know, I'm turning it on now without the SID or the CIA, and I'm getting the exact same video with the flashing colors, just so you know, without turning the camera around. Alright, probes to ground and pin 40 confirmed. So let's see if this resets the video. When I do that, I'll let you guys watch. And our tape is rewinding with our music on. True retro style. Okay, ground. Pin 40. Make sure I'm doing everything right here. Yeah, pin 40 was 5 volts, and then I'm going to try the reset. Yeah, so guidance, guys, as the teamwork, how do we do the reset test? While you come back to me on that, I'm going to just swap out the VIC2 as you're saying. Power off. And I'm going to put in a known working NTSC VIC2 so we avoid any confusions with that. I'll try the tape as well while we wait for that. Tape still doesn't work. So yeah, it's a 6510. I've tried shorting it to ground on pin 4. Okay, so power. The problem now is with this VIC, we don't see any display to tell whether it's resetting. Of course, tape won't work while the CIAs are out. How do I check that it's resetting with the... because I've got the other VIC in now, which doesn't actually show anything. So I am going to just swap that VIC back in, because at least I can just see whether the machine is resetting or not. But yeah, we already rolled out tape, so I don't think the VIC's going to affect the tape. Okay, so that's the display, and then we're going to just try the reset thing. And yeah, this VIC, I've actually tried 2 VICs that are known to be good. So unless it's actually causing, unless it's killing those VICs as we go through things, then I think those VICs are still good. Reset is not seeming to work. If that's pin 40, the top right pin is 40. I'm resetting by connecting ground and pin 40, and I'm not seeing a reset there. Yeah. I'm pretty sure reset's not working. Okay, so just to clarify, I have the known faulty. Well, okay, let me start again. Just to clarify, the VIC that's in there right now is the one that came with the machine, and that's the original one, and that gives this output. And then the known 2 good VICs give the blank screen. So I was just putting that one back in to test whether the machine was resetting. But yes, agreed, this one is probably part of the problem. So I'm going to put the known good ceramic VIC back in. So really, just to sort of simplify it now, we have a blank screen. Let's see if I have a spare 6510 while we troubleshoot the other ideas. CPU could be dead. This is where I pray that I have a 6510 in the Retro Recipes saucepan. I do, there's one. Okay, let's try this. We'll swap out the ROM, the CPU. It's pretty stuck in there, so I'm going to just lever it out with the good old watch screwdriver. The Anvita isn't here with his crowbar anymore. Definitely don't want to cause any more damage. Yeah, this doesn't have the 8701, it's an earlier. This is a 250407 revision A. So everything's in this area here. But we swapped out the crystal and the VIC. several times. There we go. Whoop. That looks like some kind of a mod that I just accidentally did. Okay. Everything's looking pretty good in the socket. So let's get our new 6510 in there. I'm just catching up on your comments then, yeah. Who is Jan Beta? Very good. He's the successor to Jan Alpha. I think he had to go to bed because it is probably coming up on late o'clock in Germany. All right. So right way around, just making sure. That's really stiff. I don't want to force it. Let me just make sure everything looks like it's lined up there. You know, down the line when I do my next video about this board, I'm going to be putting it in a dishwasher and cleaning out these sockets really well. But for now, we'll just improvise a little bit. Yeah, I'm not going to force it. Let me try and take this out again and try it in the other way. Just from the other, put the pressure on the other pins first. You know what I mean? Straighten that out. Nice. Okay. Okay. Going this way now. First, that's where the resistance seems to be. Again, I can't see why it's so, like there's no corrosion or oxidation in there, but who knows. There we go. All right, everybody, this is a defining moment. Let me point the camera at the screen and let's turn it on. 3, 2, fingers crossed, 1. Nothing. Okay, so let's recap here. CIAs are out, SID is out. Changed the CPU. We changed the ROM. We changed the VIC, although this is the original ROM again now. We changed the crystal. We've recapped these 3. Voltages on the voltage regulators are correct. So, try with 2 CIAs in there again, says Gadget UK, if you've got a dead test card. Yeah, so my dead test is on a Easy Flash 3. So unless I remember the exact key to press, I'm going to have a little trouble getting onto that, but I think I can figure that out. So yeah, let's try that while we've got everything plugged in. The keyboard is in. See what happens. Okay, so this is turning on the machine with the dead test, or with the Easy Flash 3 in there. And then I think I used to press... Yeah, does anyone remember on the Easy Flash 3, what are the shortcut keys on the bottom right of the screen for that section of cartridges that you've loaded onto there? Oh yeah, I've got to get the keyboard working anyway, get my CIAs in there. CIAs going in now. Nice. do not have a logic probe handy, Gadget UK. So I think they used to press C to get the dead test card, so let's try that. So, you know, if the logic is working and I'm pressing C to load the dead test, we should be seeing something on the screen now. I had 3 dead test cards actually in there. I would press A, B or C to get those up. I'm trying A, B and C right now. Yeah, no good. So we've got the easy flash in there. Dead tests are not loading, so I'm just looking at the latest comments here. Yeah, next step is looking at the clock gen side and following it through to CPU. Otherwise chip swapping. Out of what's left, what would you swap? We'll give this a last ditch, last run. I'm going to swap this ROM again. $906114. I had one of those in stock. Here it is. Now that we've done everything else, we'll try this again. Sorry about that. YouTube Live just crashed. Alright, so I'm just trying to turn it on with the newer ROM in there, or the known working ROM. Yeah, so the LCD is getting a sync because the no signal's going away, but nothing more. I am reading all the comments coming in here. So let's see, check if the multimeter has a frequency mode. Yeah, you tell me. Here it is. Night, Robbie. Thanks, Electron Ash. Yeah, it is weird when I turn on the power, the stream dies. I don't have the phone connected to the mains, which makes that even weirder. It's running on battery for this camera, so that's strange. So, yeah, I'm reading what you're saying, Gadget UK, about the TTL chips. I haven't checked the 5 volts, so let's run with that. So the 5 volts going to the VIC. You're saying not that one, but some of the other logic. So maybe on the CPU, pin 6, double check you have 5 volts. Okay. A worthy experiment. Electron Ash, this is a measure up etexity. Yeah. Make of that what you will. Okay, so let's try pin 6 on the CPU. So we're going down to pin 6. Power. Always helps to turn on the power when you're checking the voltage. And as you can see, hopefully there, I know the stream can be a little shaky, but it is 5 volts there. Glad you liked that Blinky Plonky song, guys. Check out the links below if you want to get hold of that song. Now I'm just reading the comments now again. So that old Vic appeared to have died. Now we're now suspecting clock gen stuff. Yeah. So, Gadget UK, are you saying probably one of these 4 chips on the 250407? And then Leo, I'm just seeing what you're saying about checking the 5-volt spike. Hi Mule. So, yeah. Now, I don't have a logic probe. Unfortunately, I think I don't have any spares. As I was telling Jan Beta earlier, for those guys, the only small ones I have there's a color RAM that overheats. So that would be a job for another day if it was some of these 4. Gadget UK, anything else that you would try at this stage? Or do you think, because obviously it's looked like almost like an oscillator issue, and as we don't have was it the 8701 on this board, all of that business is going on here. We've checked the voltages and obviously recapped these coming into here. Anything else you would try at this stage? And then I'm going to just move on and try the things with the cartridge port maybe. Thanks, Mule. You're only 3 hours late. So we could try pin 2 on the tape deck, which is this guy here. Nothing to lose by trying that. Yep, 5 volts. Hope you can see that. 5.43. It's dancing around there. Yeah, ruled out CPU, ruled out the VIC, tried 3 VICs, including the original, changed the ROM, PLA we swapped. Did we swap the PLA? Yeah, we did. The CAAs we've taken out, switched around, etc. Same issue. Either the clocks or the major bus. That's okay, Mule, we've all got to work. Trust me, I know, mate. Okay, so Ox says try flexing the board, and then I'm just going to come back to what Gadget UK was saying. Try flexing it. Ox is still suspecting a cracked trace from when it was dropped or damaged by USPS. Yeah, I have to do a really close inspection for that. I'm just following what you're all saying here. Yeah, I can get hold of an oscilloscope. That's not an issue for a future video. PC speakers, what are you thinking with those? Because I do have audio coming out of this. Okay, so let's try the tape idea here, just to finish that train of thought. Of course, I don't have to plug that in. The suggestion is that on pin 3, I think, if I hit run stop, there should be a spike. So right now, 7.08, and then on pin 2, 5 volts, and then I'm going to hit run stop. Don't know if this works because I took the pins off. But yeah, with run stop, I do indeed see a drop in voltage. Is that what we expect to happen with run stop? It dropped from 7 down to 5, 2, 7, 5. So that was pin 3 on the tape. So, okay, help me out here, guys. Pin 2, I was seeing 5 volts when I tested it before. And now on pin 2, look what happens. Nothing. Like 0.01. Oh, there it is. I didn't have a good connection to ground. My apologies. So pin 3, 7 volts, 6.5. Pin 3, can of the modulator. Okay. Do you mean here or do you mean inside? You probably mean inside. Cheers, John. Thanks so much for your help and for joining us. We're wrapping up soon here anyway. Yeah, Electron Ash, the can of the modulator, could you clarify? This is like CB radio. Breaker, breaker, can of the modulator. Could you copy? I'm just going to try pin 3 again here. Yeah, 7 volts, and then with run stop. Pin 3 does drop down, seemingly, when I hit run stop. Not sure why that would be. Oh, it's ground, gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, I'm getting some weird readings on the tape pins for sure. So let's just assume that my grounds are solid here. And I go to pin 3 on the tape. And it's sort of jumping, there we go, it's like 6.3, 6.3. And I hit run stop, shift run stop. And now it's, okay, 7. Yeah, it did spike a little on 3. So I think it's safe to say that that's expected behavior. Just it's not going up to 9 as I think he mentioned. But when I get the ground connection right, it does go up to 7. Yeah, 7.08. Actually, these are a little oxidized, which is not helping. So I need to clean those with my eraser. But 7.09. Yeah. Yeah, mate, Mule. We've been through the dead test options. Okay, DC on pin 1 of the CPU. Okay, let me try that. DC pin 1. Okay, coming up. DC 3.6, Gadget UK. Sounds okay, yeah. So, obviously we've been through a lot of really useful troubleshooting here. I think what we're left with is these 4 guys, or something with the RAM or logic. But chip swapping with the RAM, I could sit the RAM chips on top to check them. but I am tempted to try and swap out these guys one at a time. Definitely a challenging one, this. Gadget UK say this, so I do have a clock, and as Electron Ash says 3.6 sounds okay. That might suggest I have a clock, unless it's just stuck high. But where does that lead us next to then? Give me 2 seconds. Just following up your comments here. Did you test the kernel? Good point. We didn't swap out this guy, the 901227. Actually, I would say that's the only chip we haven't swapped out. Let me check the Retro Recipes saucepan and see. Well, it's not one of these. Let me check elsewhere. See if I have one of those. I do, so I'm going to give that a go. Unless your advice is don't do that, which I doubt. Let's try that. $901,227. Bent pin here. Don't worry, I have grounded myself regularly through this process. You just got to ground yourself. Meditate. That's what my mum always says. Alright. In goes this guy. I guess I'll turn the camera around and we'll turn it on with the new kernel in there. Okay, kernel, do your stuff. No, we got a sync, but nothing else. Sorry, Electron Ash. Yeah, this is a challenging one, huh? Oh boy, you know, you never know what you're going to get when you order something off eBay. I do like a challenge. So guys, let's see, trying this again. Daniel, thank you so much. Take your working 64, put in CPU, ROM, and check those one by one. That is definitely something I can do. I feel like I have been swapping out known working chips though, with known working chips. So I think that is a long shot, but yeah, it's something I can do. For now, I'm going to say to you guys, let me know, is there anything else that you think that I have missed that I could try at this stage? Also, is that kernel in the right way around? This kernel doesn't have a notch. And although I put it in the right way around, I then took it out again to bend the leg and forgot that I had turned it round. Let me try that one more time, okay? 3, 2, 1. Nada. Nada. Yeah, Jim Devil, I checked when I ran away earlier to see if I had an RF cable. Didn't find the one that I need with this connection. I only have the coax screw types, the American types. So that's going to be an issue. Yeah, I think, you know, we have spent a lot of time and done a lot of really cool stuff. However, we may have to save fixing this for a future video. Yeah, RAM is an option. RAM is definitely an option. Yeah, so Gadget UK, I think my next step will be to swap out these guys. One of these could well be faulty. And then I'll try seating some RAM chips on top of the existing RAMs, if not, and see how that works. I am also going to invest in an infrared temperature gauge because I think that would have actually helped us look for any dead chips, but they did all feel warm to the touch. Alright, let me move the camera over here with some fancy dream effects. Okay, there we go. So this little bugger has given us a good run for our money. I think it's fair, while your comments still come in, which are so helpful, I think it's fair to let everyone go at this stage. And what I'm going to do is, as mentioned, is check the 4 chips in the VIC shielding area, try and swap those out next. I'm also going to buy a temperature, infrared temperature gauge so that I can check the RAM chips and make sure all the chips are the same temperature and therefore hopefully not dead. And then an oscilloscope is going to be handy as well. I'm not as advanced, I'm not an electronics engineer, but I do love trying to bring these machines back to life, and not one machine has failed me yet, so I definitely won't be giving up on this one. We'll get it back to working order in a future video. It probably won't be a live video because it's just going to be laborious desoldering of these chips, unless you guys strongly object. So what I'm going to do is wrap it up. I'm going to thank all of you so much for the comments that are still coming in and for this true team effort. It's been kind of magnificent and really shows what a great community this is. Yeah, I'm sorry you guys couldn't help either. You did help though, because we went through everything in a logical process, and we did everything that's possible to do in 3 hours. So let's keep loving these machines, keep them alive, keep them in the public consciousness, and do everything we can to keep retro gaming and retro computing alive and kicking in the year 1984, I mean 2018. Thank you Timo, thank you Alexa, thank you everyone so much. I'll wrap it up. Check out the descriptions below if you liked some of the music that you heard playing on my Boots data set. It's all available at the links below. Thank you again to my Patreons as well for joining me. Do consider checking out patreon.com/perifractic. You'll find a lot more info about me there, if nothing else. I'll say goodnight as you're all saying goodnight, and I'll try and get a dedicated dead test cartridge too. That's a great idea, Mindflare Retro. So many avenues to go down. This is the thing with these videos, is I always think, I wonder if a day will come when I ran out of things to do. And then every week that goes, I come up with a new idea, or we have new avenues to try with these. I do have some really fun things coming up that I've ordered some parts for. I won't say too much, I won't spoil anything, but make sure you subscribe so you can see those. Thank you again so much for all your help and for joining me. I would say that this has been a success because we've all had a fun time. We've done some great teamwork, and there's nothing wrong with that. Alright guys, take care, subscribe, check out the Patreon, and I'll have to say cheerio for now. Cheers.